Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to my channel, Gardening in Cold Spring Harbor. Welcome back to my home garden in Long Island, New York, Zone 7A. I hope everyone is staying safe and warm. Today I'm going to be planting 4 new Gladioli varieties in my home garden. I have various Gladioli varieties already growing in my home garden, but this year I decided to add new Gladioli varieties as well to my home garden, and they're all right over here. Gladioli are beautiful perennials that are known for their sword-like foliage and large, colorful blooms. So come with me. Let's talk about how to plant, grow, and care for Gladioli in your own home garden. So for those of you looking for that online gardening channel, which offers tips, tricks, easy yet proven gardening advice to take your home gardens to the next level, don't go anywhere, guys. Stick around with me today. Start with going below this video and clicking the subscribe button. If you are enjoying the content of my garden videos and want YouTube to send you notifications every single time I'll upload a new garden video, click the bell icon as well. Now let's get gardening. Gladioli are part of an iris family. These beautiful blooming flowers come in variety of sizes as well as colors. Your traditional Gladioli varieties tend to range in height between 2 to 5 feet, and they're gorgeous. Colorful blooms range anywhere from 2 to 3.5 inches in diameter, depending on the variety. Gladioli bloom in the summer months. We typically plant Gladioli early spring to enjoy their blooms all summer season long. Today I will be planting 6 new Gladiolus varieties in my home garden. The first 3 varieties I have right over here. In this bag, we have 2 Gladiolus varieties. The first one's called Performer, and the second one is called Pink Event. It says clearly right on the bottom of this bag that the mature height will be 50 to 60 inches. They're great in borders and containers and make excellent cut flowers. I love the beautiful hot pink and the deep purple color of the blooms. The third Gladioli varieties is called the Bright Colors Blend. Look at the beautiful colors. The peach, the orange, the corals, the reds, and the whites. Mature height will be 50 to 60 inches. Pollinator friendly, summer bloomer, excellent for cut flowers. And it clearly tells you that each bulb will be between 14 to 16 centimeters. Let's take a look at 3 other varieties which I will be planting today. Here are the 3 other Gladioli varieties which I will be planting today. The first one is right over here. It's called the Violet King. I love the combination of white and the hot pink in the blooms. Summer bloomer, excellent for cut flowers, great in borders and containers. And here are the last 2 varieties. The first variety is called Anouk, and the second one is called My Love. Look how beautiful these blooms look. Off-white with hot pink colored stripes on the edges of the petals. What about this combination of almost yellow and hot pink? Aren't these absolutely gorgeous? Gladioli do require full sun planting location. 6 to 8 hours of direct sunlight per day. Gladioli also require at least 1 inch of water per week. So if you know you have very dry summers, you will have to water your Gladioli on regular basis. Gladioli are tall blooming flowers between 50 to 60 inches or anywhere between 3 to 5 feet in height. So you will need to offer your Gladioli plants support in the form of a stake. And it is recommended that you stake your Gladiolus plant as soon as you plant the corms. However, you need to be careful not to damage the corm as you're placing the stake in place. Gladioli are perennials. Their accepted cold hardiness are zones 8 and above. However, many home gardeners living in those border zones, zone 6 and 7, and I live in zone 7A. Many home gardeners in the border zones have tested and left gladioli intact in the ground over winters. They added extra mulch and the gladioli were absolutely fine. They sprouted and bloomed the next summer. I always leave my gladioli in the ground over winter. I do add mulch late fall to protect my gladioli corms, and they do absolutely fine. If you live in zones 5 and below, you should dig up your gladioli corms late fall after the first anticipated frost date, after all of the foliage will yellow and die off. And you should properly dry and store them either in a cardboard box or a paper bag over the winter month until you're ready to plant them again. So as I just mentioned, gladiolus or glads are grown from something called a corm. And let me show you what a gladiolus corm looks like. I'm going to open the Violet King bag. As you can see, the bag is clear, it's perforated, and has holes throughout the entire bag. I'm going to open this right in front of you, my fellow home gardeners. And let me pull out a gladiolus corm. And this is what a gladiolus corm looks like. Almost looks like a small onion. It has two sides to it as always. You could see the bottom side because you could clearly see the root system right over here. And this is the upward side. Sometimes you're going to see a pointy end on the very top as well. Here are two gladiolus corms. And I wanted to show you exactly what you should expect from a gladiolus corm. So the pointy end on this corm is exactly where the foliage is going to grow from. And here is the bottom, the rounder end, and you could see the tiny little root system right over here. Every corm is covered in layers of almost peel-like material. And when planting gladiolus corms, we leave these peels intact. We never strip the corm. Of course, you will always plant your corm pointy side up. Gladiolus corms are not typically sold loose. They come pre-packaged with at least 15 to 30 corms per package. When planting gladiolus corms in our home garden, we want to make sure that we space the corms 6 to 8 inches apart. We're here in my rose garden, and I wanted to show you what gladiolus plants look like in the very early spring when they're just starting to come up above the soil level or break ground. You could see these sword-like sprouts right over here. And these are my existing mature gladiolus plants that have just started to come up and break ground now in the very early spring. So when planting gladiolus bulbs, the first step is to rake out with a garden fork or even till the soil surface, at least 12 to 15 inches below the soil surface. You want your soil to be loose and airy. If you're planting in a smaller area, you can use a gardening fork. If you're planting in a larger area, in a cut flower garden, you might need to till your soil as well. 12 to 15 inches below the soil surface. Once you have tilled your soil or used a gardening fork to loosen up your soil surface, what is that next step? The next step is to amend your planting hole or the soil surface area with either compost, humus, or aged manure. Today I'm going to be using a combination of organic humus and manure. So I'm going to add a diligent amount right to the area that I just tilled or raked out. Be generous, my fellow home gardeners. Your gladiolus corms will thank you. Now that you added your compost, humus, or aged manure, the next step is, of course, to thoroughly mix it in with the soil. And there you go, my fellow home gardeners. Now let's open up our bright colors blend Gladiolus packaging. So this packaging came with 15 corms. Each corm happens to be between 14 to 16 centimeters in sizing. I got this at my local Home Depot garden center during their spring Black Friday sale event, and I paid 50% less than the asking price. Let's open up the bag together with you guys, my fellow home gardeners. Let's take a look at what these corms look like. Look how beautiful, nice and large they are. You can clearly see the pointy end, which is the top end of the corm, and the rounder, smoother side. This is the bottom side of your corm, which is where the root system is going to grow from. So remember always to plant your corms the pointy side up. I always like to plant multiple corms within the same planting area. Why? Because I like that wow blooming effect when summertime comes. I love to see all of my gladioli come up and bloom at the same time. So I'm going to plant multiple corms within the same area. But again, the rule is 6 to 8 inches apart. Place your gladiolus corms 4 inches below the soil surface. And as you are planting, always feel and touch your corms. Don't be afraid, guys. Why? Because you never know if they have rot or disease in them. I always like to smell my corms as well to make sure that there's no fungal, moldy smell coming from them. They were packaged and we don't know how long they were packaged in this bag for. So we want to make sure that there's no signs of fungus, mold, or any other bacterial growth on your corms. Look how huge this corm is. It is actually very large compared to some of the other corms right over here. This is a very large corm. The larger the corm, the larger the blooms will be. And now, once you positioned your corms, what is the next step? Of course, to backfill our planting hole and make sure that you place at least 4 inches of soil on top of your corms. I always like to add a little bit extra humus and manure on top, because as I will be watering it, all the nutrients from the humus and the manure will go right into the corms and help them grow much better for me. There you go, my fellow home gardeners. We have planted our 4 gladiolus corms. And gladioli make excellent border and annual flower bed flowers. In fact, you can even plant your corms in a pot or a container for continuous summer blooms. We have planted our gladiolus corms. We have backfilled the planting hole. The next step is to always offer the support in the form of a stake. So I always place a stake around the planting site. That not only reminds me where I planted my corms, but as the corms will start to come up and grow and I'll see the green foliage, I will add additional stakes to each of my gladiolus flowers or gladiolus plants. For now, 1 I feel is enough because this will help me, see the planting location better. So I'll be mindful where I need to water my plants, my corms. And last but definitely not least, water your freshly planted corms, gladiolus corms, thoroughly, which is exactly what I'm going to do right now. And that is it. And I promise you guys, if you follow all of my easy yet proven Gladiolus planting, care and maintenance steps. You're going to have beautiful, lush, huge gladiolus blooms all summer season long. This is it for this video, you guys. Thank you so much for joining me here today in my home garden in Long Island, New York, Zone 7A. In today's video, we planted 6 different gladioli varieties in my home garden. So for those of you who enjoyed the content of today's video, if you found today's video to be useful, helpful, informative, in absolute any way, don't be shy, guys. Show me that support by clicking thumbs up below. Leave your comments in the comments section as well. I personally read each and every single one of your comments and respond to each and every single one of you, my fellow home gardeners. Let me know, do you have gladiolus or gladioli growing in your home garden? If so, what varieties have you planted and growing in your home garden? Share some pictures with me, guys. I would love to see your beautiful home gardens. For those of you who haven't yet subscribed to my gardening channel, Gardening in Cold Spring Harbor, what are you waiting for, guys? Super easy for you to do, super pleasing and rewarding to me. Just go below this video and click the subscribe button. If you want YouTube to send you notifications every single time I'll upload a new garden video, click the bell icon as well. Stay healthy, happy, be well, each and every single one of you guys. And as I always like to say, happy gardening, guys, and I'll see you again in my new upcoming gardening videos. Bye, guys.